Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something a little bit different?
Ooh, I love different.
Yeah, it's Black Friday, but not like the, crazy shopping stuff you see on TV.
Right, right. Not the doorbuster mayhem.
Exactly. This is about big data, like how it's used to, understand and even predict what people buy on Black Friday.
It's amazing what goes on behind the scenes.
I know, right? So we're looking at this research paper.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's called a big data approach to Black Friday sales.
Catchy.
Yeah, well, it's academic research. It's published in 2021, so pretty recent.
Okay.
And it gets into the nitty-gritty of how all that data gets crunched. But first things first, we got to make sure everyone's on the same page about what big data actually means.
Because it's not just, a big spreadsheet.
No, no, no.
It's about the sheer scale and just the complexity of all that information.
Right. It's like imagine every single purchase made on Black Friday,
Oh, wow.
both online and in stores. Plus, website clicks, social media posts about deals, even things like weather reports and traffic patterns for that day.
Yeah, all that stuff.
All of it. That's the
Yeah.
kind of data we're talking about.
And it's not just the volume either.
Oh, yeah.
It's also how fast that data comes in all the different forms it takes, how accurate it is, and even its potential for creating value.
It's like drinking from a fire hose of information.
Seriously.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but why should I care about all this data stuff?
That's a fair question.
Totally.
Totally.
It's a good question. And here's the thing. Whether you're hitting the stores yourself or running a business, this stuff affects you.
Oh, absolutely.
For shoppers, think personalized deals, recommendations that actually match your taste, and even predictions about what's going to be the hot item this year.
And for businesses, it's even more crucial.
Right.
It helps them optimize their inventory set prices strategically and really target their marketing efforts effectively.
So they can use this data to basically predict what you're going to want to buy before you even know it yourself.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics of this research. The authors of this paper, they used a massive data set of over 500,000 Black Friday purchases.
Wow.
That's like having a window into the shopping carts of over 500,000 people.
That's a lot of
I
shopping.
know, right? They looked at factors like customer demographics, age, gender location, you name it, as well as product categories and, of course, the actual sales figures.
So they had a lot to work with.
Tons.
Yeah.
And to analyze all of this, they used something called machine learning models.
Ah, yes, the magic of algorithms.
Right. These models are like superpowered algorithms that can find patterns and relationships in the data that humans would never be able to spot on their own.
Like way beyond what we could do just looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. They use two main models called linear regression and random forest.
Okay.
Don't worry, we won't get too technical here. The important thing is these models were able to predict Black Friday sales with incredibly high accuracy,
How high are we talking?
over 80% in some cases.
Yeah.
It's like they had a crystal ball for shopping trends.
That's amazing.
I know, right? And to make things even more impressive, they used a special big data framework called Apache Spark to do this analysis.
Spark, I've heard of that.
It made the whole process incredibly fast and efficient. Imagine trying to analyze 500,000 transactions in a spreadsheet.
Oh my goodness.
It would take forever. But with Spark, they could do it in a fraction of the time.
So speed is key.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got big data machine learning and this super fast Spark thing. Starting to see how it all fits together, but what exactly did they find in all that data? Like, what are the juicy details that make this deep dive so interesting?
Well, that's where it gets really fascinating. This research uncovered some really interesting patterns about Black Friday shopping behavior, and some of them might just surprise you.
Ooh, I like surprises.
Well, for instance, they found that the 26-35 age group was the most active shopper group on Black Friday.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the age group that's usually most tech-savvy and plugged into all the latest trends.
Yeah, for sure. But here's something a little more surprising. The data also revealed that men were more likely to shop on Black Friday than women overall.
Interesting. Is that true across the board, though?
Well, that's the thing. When they broke down the sales by age, this gender difference was much less noticeable in the 46-55 age group.
So maybe those older shoppers are bucking the trend a bit.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole hidden story behind the numbers.
Exactly. And to help visualize these patterns, the researchers created some really cool graphs. For example, one graph shows sales by gender, and you can clearly see that men are dominating the spending. But then when you look at the graph broken down by age group, you see that in the 46-55 range, the gap between men and women shrinks significantly.
I love how these visuals help you see the patterns so clearly. It's like those aha moments when you suddenly understand something in a whole new way.
For sure.
But it's not just about understanding what happened in the past.
Right.
This research also has the power to predict what's going to happen in the future.
That's the real magic of machine learning, right?
Yeah.
These models can actually forecast sales, which means businesses can get a glimpse into what's likely to be popular before Black Friday even starts.
So imagine being a retailer. You could use this information to make sure you have enough stock of the hottest items, plan your marketing campaigns around what people are actually looking for, and maybe even offer personalized discounts to specific customers.
Exactly. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of the equation and allows businesses to make much more data-driven decisions.
And this brings us back to that super fast Spark framework we mentioned earlier.
Right.
I was curious, why did Spark produce more accurate results than traditional machine learning methods?
It all comes down to Spark's ability to handle these massive data sets with incredible efficiency. Think of traditional machine learning methods like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks.
Ooh.
They can get the job done, but it's slow and cumbersome. Spark, on the other hand, is like a high-performance athlete. It can process huge amounts of data in parallel, making the whole analysis much faster and more accurate.
So it's not just about speed, it's also about getting a more complete picture of the data.
Right, exactly. The more data you can analyze, the more nuanced and accurate your insights will be. It's like having a more powerful microscope. You can see things that would have been invisible before.
This is what I find so fascinating about this type of research. It's not just about Black Friday, it's about the potential of big data and machine learning to change how we understand the world around us.
Absolutely. And that potential extends far beyond retail. Think about healthcare, finance, transportation. Any field where you have large amounts of data could benefit from these techniques.
It's like opening up a whole new toolbox for problem solving and decision making.
Exactly. And as we continue to generate more and more data, these tools will only become more powerful and important.
So we've gone from the frenzy of Black Friday crowds to this almost microscopic view of shopping data. What does it all mean for you?
I think the biggest takeaway here is that big data isn't just some abstract concept. It's having a real impact on how businesses operate and how we shop, whether we realize it or not.
It's like this hidden force shaping the shopping landscape, especially on a day like Black Friday when so much data is being generated.
Exactly. And the insights from this research can help you make smarter decisions both as a shopper and as a business owner.
If you're planning to brave the Black Friday sales, you can use this knowledge to anticipate trends, maybe even snag a better deal.
And if you're on the business side, imagine the possibilities of understanding your customers better and predicting what they'll want before they even know it themselves.
It's like having a superpower. We started by talking about Black Friday, but what other events or shopping trends could be analyzed this way?
That's what's so exciting about this field. The potential applications are almost limitless. Think about back-to-school shopping holiday sales, even predicting the next viral product.
The more data we generate, the more we can learn about ourselves and how we behave. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. So the next time you see a Black Friday ad, or any ad for that matter, think about the data that's driving it and the insights that are being used to target you specifically. You might be surprised by what you discover. So they found that the 26 to 35 age group was like the most active shopper group on Black Friday.
That makes sense though, right? I mean, they're the ones who are usually like most tech savvy and plugged into all the latest trends.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Men were more likely to shop on Black Friday than women overall.
Really? Huh.
Mm.
So are guys just bigger spenders then?
Well, it's not that straightforward. When they looked at the sales by age, that gender difference was much less obvious in the 46 to 55 age group.
Interesting. So it's not just about being male or female. It's more complicated than that.
Exactly. There are other factors at play. And to help visualize these patterns, they made these really cool graphs.
I love a good graph.
Yeah. So one graph shows sales by gender, and you can see that men are spending way more. But then when you look at the graph broken down by age group, you see that in the 46 to 55 range, the gap between men and women is way smaller.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's like those aha moments when you suddenly get it.
Right. And the cool thing is this research isn't just about understanding what happened in the past. It can actually predict the future.
Wait, really? Tell me more.
So these machine learning models, they can forecast sales, which means businesses can kind of see what's going to be popular before Black Friday even starts.
That's wild. So like A retailer could use this info to make sure they have enough of the hot items, plan their marketing, and maybe even offer personalized discounts.
Exactly. It takes out the guesswork and lets them make smarter decisions.
Which brings us back to that Spark thing.
Yeah,
Why did Spark give them better results than regular machine learning?
it's all about efficiency. Spark can handle these massive data sets way better. Think of traditional machine learning like running a marathon with a backpack full of rocks.
Okay, that sounds rough.
Right. It can get the job done, but it's slow and tough. Spark is more like a high-performance athlete. It can process tons of data at the same time, so the analysis is faster and more accurate.
So it's not just about speed, it's about getting a more complete picture.
Exactly. The more data you analyze, the better your insights will be. It's like using a more powerful microscope. You can see things you couldn't before.
This is so cool. It's not just about Black Friday. It's about how big data and machine learning can change how we understand the world.
And it goes way beyond retail, healthcare, finance, transportation. Any field with lots of data can benefit from these techniques.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about problem solving.
And as we create more data, these tools will only get more important.
So we started talking about like crazy Black Friday shoppers, and now we're looking at, this microscopic view of their data.
It's wild, right? But I think the big takeaway is that big data is it's not just some theory. It's actually changing how businesses work and how we all shop.
Yeah, whether we realize it or not.
Exactly. It's this hidden force shaping the whole shopping landscape, especially on Black Friday with all that data flying around.
So what can we do with this knowledge?
Well, it can help us make better decisions, both as shoppers and business owners.
So if you're brave enough to face the Black Friday crowds, you can use this info to figure out the trends, maybe even get a better deal.
And for businesses, just imagine understanding your customers better and knowing what they want before they even do.
That's incredible. We've been talking about Black Friday, but could we use this for other events or shopping trends?
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes this field so exciting. The possibilities are endless. Think back to school shopping holiday sales, even predicting the next viral product.
So the more data we have, the more we can learn about ourselves and how we behave.
It really makes you think. And next time you see a Black Friday ad or any ad, think about the data behind it. They're using those insights to target you specifically.
It's like they're reading our minds.
Kind of. It's pretty amazing. So keep that in mind next time you're scrolling through those deals.
I will. And hey, listeners, you do the same.
Happy shopping, everyone.
And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.